Whew. Good morning and welcome to day 8 of our Everest Base Camp trek. Today is the day. Today we try to accomplish what we've been training for the last 7 days, so it should be a really exciting day. The plan is to go to Everest Base Camp today. Now, it is freezing cold out here. It is so cold I can't even describe it. Maybe 0 degrees, I don't know. It is freezing cold. So the plan here is to wait a bit until the sun rises, and then we're gonna get after it. So Everest Base Camp today, and then maybe Patthar, which if you've never heard of Patthar, it's actually a better view of Everest, and I'm really looking forward to that because we've heard epic things about it. So stick around for this video as we try to check off Everest Base Camp and Patthar. Should be a good one. All right, leaving Lobuche, onward with the best mountain team on the mountain to Everest Base Camp. There's the crew back there. Let's get after it today. Phew! From where we stayed last night to Everest Base Camp, we're gonna be covering about 560 meters of elevation gain. So another pretty consistent day. Another good climb today, and in thinner air. Whew.
Tapai kota bata.
Aunu भयो.
Ano bayo? Tapai kota
Kata
kota
bata
bata.
aunu भयो.
Ano bayo? Okay, I have to practice that one. Just because it's cold doesn't mean the sun isn't strong.
And we're climbing. Vasari. Slowly, slowly. Look at Patthar, our porter. He's like making his own trail. Straight up the mountain.
It's a big group.
Another climb, another Patthar W. Always winning the uphills and the downhills, honestly, and the flats. He's just winning. He's all around winning.
That's why he's King Patthar.
That's why he's King Patthar. That's right. There's never been a climb that hasn't been worth the views. Look at this. Woo! So what we're looking at here, this right here, this is the Kathmandu Glacier. So this leads right up to Everest, which we'll see in a bit. But it's hard to tell because there's a bunch of little rocks covering. But on this side, you can kind of see a little bit more of the ice and water running through. This is my first time I've ever seen a glacier. Pretty epic. I made it to our place for the night where we were going to drop off our stuff before we head to Everest Base Camp here. But I'm just going to say this about the Everest Base Camp trek. Though the success rate is probably pretty high, it's a really popular trek, it is still one of those things that you need to take seriously. Me and Meg are constantly surprised, like every day, with how demanding this is on
Actually kind of hard.
our bodies, as well as we're noticing other people. We've seen, a couple people, Meg, have to get helicoptered down. Some people have to go back down just because of altitude and other things. This still is a very serious trek, and you kind of have to check your ego and be humbled a little bit by the trek and just take one day at a time. Each day, me and Meg wake up and we're just like, thank gosh we feel good still, because that is not the case for everybody. Right, Meg?
Yeah, seriously. I can't believe how many people we've watched start and not finish. And then I look at Ian and I'm like, I'm so proud of us.
Yeah.
It's not just like a given.
No, it really is not super easy, and it is not a given. You do not need to go fast. You actually need to go really, really slow. How slow are we walking, Meg?
Slow. Embarrassingly slow.
Like, probably a fifth of the speed.
Yeah.
So, you really just have to stay within yourself and go within your comfort zone, and then your chances of success will definitely increase. Onward to Everest Base Camp.
Yay!
And look at Arpin's shades. Woohoo! Watch out, everybody on the trails. We're coming for you.
There she is. The tip.
I don't know if you guys can see that. There's Everest. It's kind of crazy. We're so close to base camp, yet you can't really see it quite yet. You!
Congratulations.
We did it! Patthar! We made it. Everest Base Camp. 5,364 meters. All right, so this is Everest Base Camp. Phew. Funny enough, you can't actually see Everest from Everest Base Camp because you're too close. Also, this looks a little bit different than I expected it, but I also kind of knew this because we're in the off season. People are not climbing, so base camp is kind of closed. So normally this would be filled with like tents and such, but now it's empty. But still very cool. All right, Meg, what do you think? Everest Base Camp?
I mean, just like the 360-degree mountains is insane. It's overwhelming.
It is a little bit overwhelming. The views are obviously epic. There's like so much like history here, and like I feel like every film on Everest that I've ever seen starts right here at base camp. So that's pretty cool. All right, so behind me here you have Khumbu Glacier, and then just above that you have the well-known Khumbu Icefall, where climbers have to hike through or trek through to summit Everest. Wow. I have mad respect for those that try to tackle this mountain. I mean, it is hard just making it to where you start the climb.
I really don't have words.
Yeah, it's amazing. Once in a lifetime.
Thunderbats. We did it.
And just like that, we are leaving Everest Base Camp. What a special place. You never know if you ever make it back to places like that, so super grateful. I even got to get there once. We will be back in the tea house in 3, 2, 1. Okay, here's the new plan. Here's the plan, and a new plan. The original plan was we're gonna go to Patthar, which is supposed to be this amazing overlook, panoramic view of Everest, a better view than you get at base camp. We were supposed to do that at sunrise, but we've heard it's super, super, super cold, and we want to try to avoid that. We've also heard that sunset at Patthar is even better. We've heard great things. So basically all we're going to do now is we're going to do like a 45-minute reset, have some tea, some Oreos, and we're going to get trekking again because it's about a 2-hour trek straight up. All right, let's go. We had a 2.5-hour hike from Lobuche, where did we hike from this morning? Lobuche. We hiked from Lobuche to Gorak Shep, 2.5 hours. A little 3-hour trek to Everest Base Camp. What's another 3-hour trek with 200 meters of elevation gain above Everest Base Camp? What's that about? Let's do it. This one, right there, that's Everest. That one, that's Everest. For some reference, base camp is right down there. That's where Everest Base Camp is. That's where we were earlier today. All right, made it to Patthar, 5,555 meters. Meg, what'd you think?
That was really hard.
That was a battle, actually. Quite the battle. It's over 18,000 feet though, so that's an elevation record for us. And now it's time to just enjoy the sunset. I can't believe we are watching the sunset over the tallest mountain in the world. Pretty sure there's nobody that can say that. Very few people. It's kind of surreal and cold.
It's a little emotional.
Right there, this is the tallest mountain in the world. It looks like I'm watching a TV. Right there, tallest mountain in the world. And people climb that for some reason.
It's gotta be a top 5 moment right here. Maybe even top 30.
All right, that's a memory that can live in my brain forever and will not be replicated. But we have to get off this mountain before we freeze to death. It is so cold. My hands are frozen. Oh yeah.
I'm straight snot under here.
All right, sitting down for some dinner, got some dalbat. That's gonna be it for today. What an epic, epic day. We are super tired, but super fulfilled as well. I think we're gonna finish up our night with maybe a little cards, maybe a little tea, and then falling asleep in our freezing cold room, and we wouldn't have it any other way. We'll see you tomorrow. Welcome to day 9 of our Everest Base Camp trek. Now, believe it or not, day 9 is almost done with. Today, we started our descent from Everest Base Camp, and that is going to continue for the next 3 days. It's been a beautiful trek thus far today, but it's gonna be very similar for the next 3 days. So we've decided to spare you from the excitement and thrilling nature of the exact same path that we took on the way up. And instead, we're gonna finish this video off by sharing why this trek was so special for us, and probably why you should book your trip like right now. We quickly found out what makes this trek so special. The Everest Base Camp trek is no ordinary trek. It surprised us in so many ways. Whenever you set out to achieve a goal or even live out a dream, the most memorable moment is often the end, the part when it is finished. This trek flipped the script on that whole idea. We started this trek with a very narrow and singular focus. Make it to Everest Base Camp. The plan is to go to Everest Base Camp today. But this trek made us slow down. We found ourselves in awe with the culture, natural beauty, and the amazing people. Our trek went from counting down the days,
Day 2, here we go,
to counting how many Nepali words we could learn.
I know about you.
We went from how are we going to make it 14 days in the mountains to how is this trek only 14 days? We got completely lost in the journey. And my apologies for when I use this cliche saying, but this trek really made us understand why the journey can be so much greater than the destination. Don't get me wrong, we are so grateful and proud that we made it.
We did it.
And had the opportunity to make it to Everest Base Camp and Patthar, being that only a few people will ever have the opportunity to do that. But I think the memories that will loom larger in our heads are the amazing people we met along the way. The joy of getting through those freezing cold nights, filling our bellies full of dalbat, and most of all, our amazing guides, Arpan and Bhakta, giving us perspective on life that we didn't even know we needed.
Bhakta!
If you're looking for something more than just a trek, an experience that is going to challenge you physically, an experience that is going to open your eyes to a whole new way of life, an experience that I'm certain you will never forget, this is the Everest Base Camp trek. Join us in our next video as we give you all the information about what you should pack and what you shouldn't pack for your Everest Base Camp trek. We also have a few confessions about our time on the trail. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the action.